Liverpool's hopes of progressing in the Champions League could be influenced by a significant development surrounding their upcoming European clash. With the stakes already sky high heading into the decisive second leg, fresh news has emerged that could play a role in shaping the atmosphere and circumstances on the night. Supporters have been eagerly awaiting updates ahead of the crucial encounter, and this latest twist may yet have an impact on how the contest unfolds. While attention will naturally focus on what happens on the pitch, events away from the action could prove just as important as Liverpool look to keep their Champions League journey alive. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Liverpool's decisive Champions League clash with Galatasaray next week could unfold in a dramatically different atmosphere than originally anticipated, after a major development regarding the visiting supporters. It had already been widely reported ahead of the first leg of the last 16 tie that Galatasaray would be without their travelling support for the return fixture at Anfield. The sanctions stems from violent scenes that occurred around the Turkish side's playoff meeting with Juventus earlier in the competition. UEFA subsequently charged the club following incidents involving the throwing of objects, the lighting of fireworks, and wider crowd disturbances. Galatasaray did attempt to challenge the ruling, lodging an appeal with UEFA in the hope of overturning the punishment and allowing their supporters to attend the decisive second leg on Merseyside. However, the latest indications suggest that the appeal has not been successful. Evidence of that has emerged through Liverpool's own ticketing arrangements. The club has now confirmed that seats typically reserved for away supporters will instead be released to home fans, effectively opening up additional sections of Anfield for the Reds faithful. Liverpool's official help account on X confirmed the decision, explaining, "Following UEFA's decision that away supporters will not be permitted to attend the Galatasaray fixture at Anfield, seats within the visitors section will be released for sale to home supporters. Those additional tickets will be made available across several sales windows scheduled for Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. The move could significantly boost the home presence inside Anfield, potentially creating an even more intimidating environment for the visitors. If every available seat is sold and filled, the stadium could welcome around 61,000 Liverpool supporters for the crucial European encounter, something that rarely happens due to the usual allocation for travelling fans. For Arne Slot's side, that could prove a notable factor as they look to overturn the first leg deficit and keep their Champions League hopes alive. With the famous Anfield atmosphere already regarded as one of the most influential in European football, the absence of away supporters could tilt the emotional balance even further in Liverpool's favour, provided those additional seats don't fall into the hands of Galatasaray fans. In other news, Liverpool's hierarchy remained firmly committed to head coach Arne Slot despite mounting criticism from sections of the fanbase, with a managerial change currently not on the agenda. That is the view of respected journalist David Ornstein, who has indicated that the club's ownership group, Fenway Sports Group, continue to support the Dutchman during what has proven to be a challenging second season at Anfield. Speaking on the Athletic FC podcast, Ornstein explained that Liverpool's leadership remains convinced Slot is the right figure to guide the club forward. Despite inconsistent performances and growing pressure from supporters, the club's internal position appears unchanged. Slot is viewed as the long-term project leader, not a short-term problem to be replaced. Liverpool, from what we hear, are steadfastly behind Arne Slot, Ornstein said. He's under contract until 2027, and they want him to be their coach. The hierarchy are determined that he is the man to get things right. The journalist went on to emphasize that even if Liverpool were actively searching for a new manager, Slot himself would fit the exact profile the club would be targeting. In other words, the characteristics they prioritize in a head coach, tactical identity, progressive football, player development, and long-term squad building, are already embodied by the current man in charge. If they were looking at a recruitment process for coaches, Ornstein continued, he said to be the exact profile that they would be looking at. There's not people on the market that they think better suit what they're looking for. They're happy with him. Of course, the situation needs to improve, and they think he can be the man to do that, and he's happy there. That sense of stability appears central to Liverpool's thinking as the club approaches the final months of the campaign. Slot inherited a squad undergoing transition, and the ownership group are believed to view this period as part of a longer rebuilding process, rather than a crisis demanding immediate change. According to Ornstein, the club's current focus is simply reaching the summer before accelerating that process. The expectation is that Liverpool will then further shape the squad around Slot's philosophy, building cohesion within what remains a relatively new group of players. So I'm expecting this to go on and the club get to the summer, in whatever shape, Ornstein explained. It could be success, it could be with a lack of it. And then they start to really try and mold and blend this relatively new squad. While that backing from the ownership may be clear internally, the external pressure has grown considerably. Slot recently reached the 100-game milestone in charge of Liverpool, but the statistics illustrate a noticeable shift in form. The Dutchman won 36 of his first 50 matches at the helm, yet has managed just 26 victories across his most recent 50. A downturn that has fueled debate about the team's trajectory. Ornstein acknowledged that dissatisfaction among supporters has become increasingly visible, particularly throughout much of 2025 and into 2026. However, he believes the narrative could still change dramatically depending on how Liverpool finish the season. There is still a huge amount to play for this season that could change that, he said. Whether it be domestically, not so much the Premier League, but of course they're fighting to finish in the Champions League places and in the Champions League in particular. Liverpool face a crucial period ahead, with a decisive last 16 clash against Galatasaray still to be resolved, while an FA Cup quarter-final against Manchester City could provide another opportunity for a momentum shift. They can turn that around against Galatasaray, Ornstein added, and then they've got a couple of months with a huge amount to play for. Slot's salary structure at Liverpool also reflects his relatively recent appointment compared to his predecessor, Jurgen Klopp. According to Dutch outlet De Telegraaf, the 47-year-old earns a base salary of approximately £7 million per year, supplemented by performance-related bonuses. That places him among the higher earners in the Premier League managerial landscape, though still behind some of the division's most established figures. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.